according to you.
Oh, objection, Your Honor. I move that. Oh, wait.
Counsel,
We cannot let this
No,
pass.
that's part
I
of-
move, Your Honor, that the defense counsel, with all due respect, be admonished from state.
Attorney Lotok ng prosecution ay sinigawan si Attorney Vinluan ng defense. Bakit kaya? At yan ang aalamin natin sa JP Amazing Stories. Nagpatuloy ang impeachment trial sa pagtalakay sa mga kasong grave threats at inciting to sedition na iniugnay sa mga pahayag ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Unang tinanong ng Defense Counsel si Attorney Jeremy Lotok, dating hepe ng NBI Cybercrime Division, tungkol sa parusa at jurisdiksyon sa kasong grave threats. Ayon kay Attorney Lotok, ang simpleng grave threats ay sakop ng Revised Penal Code. Ngunit kapag ginawa ito gamit ang Information and Communications Technology at isinama ang Section 6 ng Republic Act 10,175 or Cybercrime Prevention Act, maaaring tumaas ng 1 degree ang parusa. Gayunman, kinumpirma niyang ang kaso ay mananatiling sakop ng mga regular trial court. Sumunod namang tinanong ang witness kung felony rin ba ang inciting to sedition. Kinumpirma ni Attorney Lotok na isa itong krimen sa ilalim ng Revised Penal Code, sakop ng trial courts at maaari ring piyansahan. Dito sinubukan ng Defense Counsel na ipakita na ang grave threats at inciting to sedition ay mga ordinaryong kasong kriminal at hindi otomatikong impeachable offenses. Ngunit ipinaliwanag ni Attorney Lotok na ang impeachment court mismo ang magpapasya kung ang isang ginawa ay maaaring pumasok sa betrayal of public trust o iba pang grounds para sa impeachment. Nang subukang sabihin ng Defense Counsel na inamin umano ng witness na hindi high crime ang mga kasong ito, agad na tumutol ang prosecution. Ayon sa prosecution, hindi iyon ang eksaktong sinabi ni Attorney Lotok at maaaring maging misleading ang tanong. Pinaboran ni Presiding Officer Senator Chis Escudero ang objection at inutusan ang Defense Counsel na baguhin ang kanyang tanong. Pagkatapos nito, kinilala si Senator Judge Raffy Tulfo upang magtanong tungkol sa inciting to sedition case na inihain laban kay VP Sara. Tinanong niya kung anong mga pahayag ang ginamit ng NBI bilang basihan ng kanilang investigasyon. Ayon kay Attorney Lotok, ikinumpara nila ang mga sinabi ni VP Sara noong October 18, 2024 at November 23, 2024. Sinuri umano nila kung ang mga pahayag ay maaaring mag-udyok sa mga tao laban sa gobyerno, makagulo sa kapayapaan ng komunidad o maglagay sa panganib sa public safety. Ngunit direktang tinanong ni Senator Tulfo kung paano nila napatunayang may aktuwal na epekto ang mga pahayag sa taumbayan. Sumagot si Attorney Lotok na naglabas ng mga pahayag ang ilang government agencies na nagsabing may active threat at national security concern. Sinabi rin niyang naalarma ang ilang opisyal ng gobyerno. Hindi agad nakumbinsi si Senator Tulfo sa sagot. Nilinaw niyang magkaiba ang pag-aalala ng mga opisyal na nag-iimbestiga at ang reaksyon ng ordinaryong mamamayan. Tinanong niya kung may ebidensyang nagpapakitang ang taumbayan mismo ay nahikayat na kumilos laban sa gobyerno. Ayon kay Attorney Lotok, nakita nila sa mga balita at social media comments na may mga taong nag-aalala sa nangyayari sa bansa. May mga nagtatanong umano kung bakit nagkakagulo ang mga nasa gobyerno at kung saan patungo ang sitwasyon. Para kay Senator Tulfo, hindi sapat ang simpleng pag-aalala upang maituring na inciting to sedition. Ipinaliwanag niyang mas mahalagang malaman kung may mga taong nagsabing susuportahan nila ang panawagan, sasama sila sa pagkilos o gagawin nila ang ipinapagawa ng nagsasalita. Sinabi ni Attorney Lotok na may nakita silang ganoong uri ng comments. Binanggit niyang may mga pahayag tungkol sa people power, pagsuporta kay VP Sara at di umano'y panawagang lusubin ang Malacanang. Dahil dito, tinanong ni Senator Tulfo kung may aktual at authenticated evidence ang NBI tungkol sa mga naturang Facebook comments. Inamin ni Attorney Lotok na nakita lamang nila ang mga ito habang nagbabrowse sa social media at hindi na isasama ang mga comment sa authentication at formal na investigasyon. Matapos ang sagot na iyon, tinapos ni Senator Tulfo ang kanyang pagtatanong. Sumunod na kinilala si Senator Judge Sherwin Gatchalian. Tinanong niya kung may mga taong personal na kinausap ang NBI na naniwalang ang mga sinabi ni VP Sara ay isang panawagan para mag-alsa laban sa gobyerno. Ayon kay Attorney Lotok, hindi nakapag-focus ang Cybercrime Division sa pag-i-interview sa mga taong nagkomento o naapektuhan ng mga pahayag. Sinabi niyang maaaring ang NBI Intelligence Service ang may mas kumpletong impormasyon tungkol sa reaksyon ng iba't ibang grupo. Tinanong din ni Senator Gatchalian kung kinausap ng NBI ang mga media personality na naroon sa 2-hour press conference ni Vice President Sara. Nais niyang malaman kung may nagsabi sa kanilang naniniwala silang ang pahayag ng Vice Presidente ay direktang naghihikayat ng pag-aalsa. Ayon kay Attorney Lotok, sinabi lamang ng mga media personality na nagulat sila, seryoso ang galit ng Vice Presidente at nasa real battle mode ito. Ngunit nang tanungin kung may nagsabing itinuring nilang inciting to sedition ang kanyang mga sinabi, inamin ng witness na walang ganoong pahayag sa kanilang question and answer portion. Huling tinanong ni Senator Gatchalian kung nakipag-coordinate ba ang NBI sa National Security Council, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Philippine National Police at iba pang intelligence agencies. Ipinaliwanag ni Attorney Lotok na ang ganitong coordination ay karaniwang ginagawa sa level ng NBI Intelligence Service at ng intelligence units ng AFP at PNP. Sinabi niyang naniniwala siyang may koordinasyon na naganap, ngunit wala siyang direktang detalye dahil hindi ito personal na pinangasiwaan ng Cybercrime Division. Sa pagtatapos ng pagtatanong, lumitaw na isinama ng NBI sa kanilang assessment ang ilang reaksyon at comments sa social media. Gayunman, inamin din ng witness na ang ilang comments na binanggit ay hindi na authenticate, hindi na isama sa formal na investigasyon at wala ring direktang interview sa mga taong sinasabing nahikayat ng mga pahayag ni VP Sara. Matapos ang interpellation, sinabi ni Presiding Officer Senator Chis Escudero na ang mga sagot at paglilinaw ay itatala sa opisyal na record ng impeachment court.
Without any personal correspondences with them, you came to that conclusion,
The evidence is clear, sir.
according to you.
Oh, objection, Your Honor. I move
So-
that. Oh, wait.
Counsel-
We cannot let
counsel-
this
No,
pass.
that's part
I
of-
move, Your Honor, that the defense counsel, with all due respect, be admonished from stating those unprofessional remarks. We are in front of national TV.
No, that's
That is his answer. If you are not satisfied with his answer, please don't lay any value to what the witness answered. Your Honor, may I move that the
This is a
counsel...
reminder. This is a reminder for counsel for both parties.
let's
Move on,
let's go
counsel.
back to the investigation that you did against VP Sara. So you mentioned yesterday that the offended parties in this case, if at all, are BBM, FL, and the former speaker, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you subpoena any of them?
No, sir.
Did they appear before the NBI?
No, sir.
Nakausap nyo ba sila ng personal?
No, sir.
And yet, you concluded that they were victims of grave threats, correct?
Based on the evidence we've gathered, yes, sir.
So without any personal correspondences with them, you came to that conclusion,
The evidence is clear, sir.
According to you. Oh, objection, Your Honor. I move
So-
that. Oh, wait.
Counsel-
We cannot let
counsel-
this
No,
pass.
that's part
I
of-
move, Your Honor, that the defense counsel, with all due respect, be admonished from stating those unprofessional remarks. We are in front of national TV.
No, that's
That is his answer. If you are not satisfied with his answer, please don't lay any value to what the witness answered. Your Honor, may I move that the
This is a
counsel...
reminder. This is a reminder for counsel for both parties. Kindly avoid side remarks. Henceforth, the presiding officer will have it stricken off the record. And whatever question you pose and afterwards withdraw will likewise be stricken off from the record so as to avoid any attempts at showmanship usually seen on TV, yes, but will not be tolerated by this impeachment court. Counsels are so reminded.
we will comply, Your Honor.
Please proceed.
To clarify, Mr. Witness, yung NBI subpoena against VP Sara that you issued was her being a respondent, correct?
Yes, sir.
Pero as a complainant, you did not issue.
We issued a letter, sir, December
No.
2.
As the complainant na siya yung subject naman ng threats, walang subpoena as to that effect.
Walang sampina, sir.
So in other words, hindi talaga siya naka-explain kasi what you sent out was a letter and not a subpoena.
Yung letter is to inform the Vice President na iniimbestigahan din namin yung threat against sa life niya. So therefore, kailangan namin yung presence niya or any information na pwedeng makatulong sa investigation.
Yun na nga, pero hindi niya siya sinenda ng subpoena. Isn't it that in a regular case, the prosecutor sends out a subpoena both to the complainant and to the respondent?
With the prosecutor, sir?
Yes. You're a lawyer, you know this.
What
When
do
you
you
file
mean,
a
sir?
case before the prosecutor's office, the handling prosecutor issues out a subpoena sa parehong parties.
Ang
Tama?
alam ko, during the case con, sir, I think nag-appear yata ang Vice Presidente sa DOJ. Yan,
Alright.
doon ako na-inform, sir.
Okay, I'll move on to a new point. Let's talk about the reversal by the DOJ. Diba? There was a initial finding on February 5 and then it was eventually reversed. Now, would you agree with me that the rectifications that you made for the first affidavit of investigation were procedural deficiencies?
Procedural deficiencies.
Like the
No,
TSN?
it's part of the case build-up, Your Honor.
But what you added were TSNs, affidavits of your own agents, correct? Don't you consider that as...
Those were affidavits.
Yes, but don't you consider that those as procedural and not substantive?
Part of the evaluation and case build-up, yes, sir.
All right. But in effect, the substance of the case remained the same.
Walang nabago ho sa affidavit, sa una at sa pangalawa, parehas po yun.
Very good.
sir.
So in other words, wala kang no additional discussion on the merits of the case.
On the merits of the case, yung findings namin, hindi ho nabago
All
yun,
right.
sir.
Very good. So no additional witnesses were interviewed.
What do you mean interview, sir?
Wala nang additional interviews. Kung ano yung sa first affidavit nyo, yun na rin yung sa second affidavit. Wala nang additional interviewees.
Kung I think ang naalala ko 6 ho na media personalities ang na-interview namin at yun ho yung nag-reflect sa nag-reflect sa affidavit. At the same time, we tried to issue subpoena sa I think head ng ABS-CBN.
I understand that, but be more responsive.
Your Honor, if I may, the witness is still in the process of answering
Yeah,
his...
but Your Honor, but the answer is not
Exactly.
responsive. Eh. My question is very
Let him
simple.
finish first, with all due respect, Your Honor.
With the permission of the counsel for the parties. Attorney Latok, the question was, sa pagitan ng una at pangalawang sinubmit ninyo sa DOJ, may mga testigo ba kayong dinagdag sa pangalawa niyong submission sa DOJ? O pareho din po yung mga testigo, nilakip lang yung mga affidavit na hindi na ilakip dun sa unang pag-submit?
Yeah, insofar as I'm concerned, Your Honor, parehas lang po.
Okay.
All right.
May proceed, counsel.
But we will never know that for sure because you never released your first affidavit of investigation, correct?
Well, I think it's in the DOJ. Ang binigay sa amin yung certification kung ano yung mga requirements na dapat namin i-comply.
Yeah, but what you attach, when you received the subpoena from the House Committee on Justice, which was used as the basis for the articles of impeachment, the first affidavit of investigation was never included, correct?
Yung nag-submit ho dyan, Your Honor, sila Agent Kalilong, wala akong idea
Hindi
dun
nyo
sa
alam. All right, that's okay.
person.
So, I have a question about the affidavit of investigation, okay? An affidavit, or I'll just be more specific, your second affidavit of investigation was subscribed and sworn to, correct?
Yes, sir.
On February 10, 2025.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before who?
Can I check, sir?
Sure.
Witness may consult
Thank
the
you,
document before him.
Your Honor.
Counsel for the parties may assist him.
Your Honor, we'll just confront him with our own...
Subscribe and sworn to before Assistant Director Glenn A. Ricarte. Sir.
All right. So do you remember that you subscribed along with the other agents before General Ricarte now?
Yes, sir. May signature kami rito.
All right. And you did this because the first affidavit of investigation cannot be altered anymore.
What do you mean, sir?
An affidavit, as you know, you are a lawyer. Once an affidavit is subscribed and sworn to, it is a complete document already.
Yeah.
Okay? Meaning, even if you take out one page or you add an annex, you already alter the meaning of that document. Will you agree with me?
Your Honor, the process is legal evaluation by the prosecutor and case build-up. So pag nakita ho ng
No,
prosecution,
Your Honor, I'm
na-
just talking about the nature of the affidavit. I'm not
Attorney
talking
Lato,
about...
kindly answer the question. It's a general question pertaining to an affidavit in general, not this particular one.
ano yung question?
Okay, an affidavit, once you subscribe and swear to it, that already becomes a, if I may use the take out one page, you cannot alter one paragraph, you cannot add annex.
Well, I think kung sinubmit nyo na pero yung process ho namin, yung evaluation tsaka case build-up, nag-uusap po ang prosecutor tsaka yung investigator. So sinasabi ng pros, pag may kulang ka, ito. So itong unang affidavit, since may kulang sa mga attachment, ayusin nyo, baguhin nyo, i-comply nyo yung mga requirements. Since yung affidavit na yon is naka-date nung January 30 at magkukomply pa lang kami, anong na-comply namin, nag-submit kami sa DOJ and that is already February 10, 2025. So magkaiba ho yung date. So definitely babaguhin namin yung date. Kasi nga, dumaan kami sa process ng compliance based on...
Wait. In other words, when you
evaluation.
subscribed and sworn to your January 30, 2025 affidavit, you added documents or pages to it?
Na ang sabi ko po, sir, ang sabi ng DOJ, may kulang kayong affidavit of authentication, may kulang kayong TSN. Yun ho yung inattach namin doon sa
Precisely.
affidavit.
So in other words, you added documents to your January 30, 2025 affidavit?
Attachment, sir. Attachment.
So
sir.
you admit that you added attachments to it?
Part of compliance, doon sa case build-up, at doon sa evaluation na requirement
All right,
ng
but
Department
Mr.
of
Witness, isn't it
Your
that...
Honor, again, can I respectfully request
Your
through
Honor,
the presiding
may I
officer?
just be allowed to proceed, Your
let
Honor?
me be allowed. Can I be
Counsel for the
allowed?
respondent, let the counsel for the prosecutors
Your Honor,
finish with this observation or objection.
Can I make a respectful request to the defense to let the witness finish the answer before they propound the next question, Your Honor, please? For orderly proceeding, Your Honor, please.
Point well taken. Counsel, please proceed accordingly. And may I also remind the witness, Attorney Latok, kindly answer yes or no instead of yeah and nah.
Yes, sir. Sorry po.
So that it's
Your
clear
Honor.
for our records.
Yes,
You
Your
may
Honor.
proceed, counsel for the respondent.
So you admit that after you subscribe and swear to that January 30, 2025 affidavit, you added documents to it so that it will comply with the requirements of the DOJ. Is that what you're saying?
Attachment based on the requirement of the DOJ, sir.
All right, thank
Yun
you
ang
for that
nilagay namin.
admission. Just one last point on this. Can we flash affidavit of investigation? Can we flash page 1? This is page 13, Your Honor, of the AOI's Annex G9 for the benefit or for the guidance of this honorable court. The one that was flashed earlier.
Tech is instructed to do so.
All right. So this is the first page of the affidavit of investigation. Will you agree with me that this was not received by this particular document as is was not received by the DOJ?
I don't have personal knowledge. Ang inutusan ko po dyan, yung executive officers and agent on case na makipag-communicate sa Department of Justice.
But you are a co-signer of this, correct?
yeah, insofar as the content of the affidavit.
All right. And so you mean to say that you didn't cause the filing of this case with the DOJ?
Inutusan ko po ang executive officers at si Agent
All right,
Kilong
but
na
you-
sila mag-process po na dalhin yung referral na yan sa Department of Justice, sir.
At any rate, you're smart enough
Okay
to
na, ma'am.
peruse the first page and you can see that there's no received stamp appearing there too, correct?
Received from DOJ o by DOJ, sir?
By DOJ.
Again, ang makakasagot po niyan, yung nag-process niyan, si executive officer nga namin.
Yeah, but
at si
based
Agent
on
Kilong.
only-
Your Honor, again, the witness still in the process of answering the question.
Counsel, take it easy. Let the witness complete his answer.
Okay, Your Honor. But based as it appears only, as it appears on this document, This is part of the records and also uploaded in the Senate website already last July 12 so that the public can peruse. Annex GGG, this is page 13. Based on this document and observation, can you notice any received stamp on this document?
Based on that document, wala hong
All right.
naka-stamped or received.
Precisely my point that was attached. If this was really received by the DOJ, there should have been an IDF, right, or a transmittal letter attached to this.
Again, yung makakasagot po niyan, yung executive officers, Agent Calilong, and the prosecution, sir, kasi sila ang nag-uusap dyan. Sila ang nagdala ng dokumento na yan.
All right, I'll move on to a new point. Now, Article 4 of